David Seymour, back with the Nitty Gritty of Selling, and today with me I've got Erin Miller, who's the General Manager for MediaWorks in Northland, and Colin Thompson, commonly known as Tomo, Senior Sales Person, Account Manager. Good morning.
Morning, David.
So today we're just going to talk about branding. MediaWorks have got a fairly strong presence in Northland. Who wants to go first about how to build a brand?
I'm happy to.
You're the boss.
Glad you're not. So I guess the thing with branding is that you could say your brand name to me or your business name over and over and over and over again, and it wouldn't mean anything to me unless you're telling me a story about what you're trying to achieve, or what you stand for, or why I should trust you, or what's better about you. Brands in their own right don't just live and exist in our mind's library. They have to have relevance, they have to have a place in your mind's library to sit there. So branding needs to go a lot further than just a repetition of who you are and what your name is. It needs to create a story and sit within my mind's library and tell me why I should trust that brand or feel positively about that brand.
So if you think about, if you're in business, who you are, where you are, and what you do, if your potential customers don't know what they are and can't answer those questions, you're not going to get the business. Branding is critical to the success of your business. People are far more likely to buy from someone they're familiar with and recognise. Branding can do a lot of things, obviously. It can change people's perception of your business. Some people out there might have had a previous dealing many years ago and had an experience which could be far removed from what you are now. So it can definitely change people's perceptions. It definitely increases your overall top of mind awareness, and obviously you want as many people knowing about your business as possible, and also ultimately drives new customers into your store, and everyone's looking for more people coming through the door to get the till ringing. So yeah, it's a very important part of your business is the branding.
So tell me, Erin, branding, does it relate more so just to a product, or is it something that people who provide a service should look at as well?
I think branding as a marketing tool works across all categories and all types of industries or all types of products and services. Branding is more about positioning yourself or your product or your service in the mind of your customer, so that when they're ready for you, whatever that is, to buy your product or use your service, they're going to think favourably of you and come to you first. It's probably more of a difference between, do I use a branding campaign or do I use a call to action campaign? So a call to action campaign is really appropriate for a product or a service that's needed right now. You're asking for your consumer to have an action right now. With branding, you're not asking for that. You're simply asking for them to think in a positive way about them, so that when they're ready for you, whatever that is, whether it's a product or service, they're going to come to you first.
Tomo, talking about individual brands versus corporate brands, give us your opinion on that.
Well, both are important. Obviously, as an individual, you want to be known, and that if you're part of a bigger brand or a corporate, but they also need to have that overall umbrella and have a good base, if you like, built. It's with a strong brand with a business, you quickly become seen as the industry experts, if you like. So people see you as, you guys know what you're talking about, and trust is able to be built very quickly, and trust is a huge part with any sales process, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, like, say for real estate, for example, there's 160, 170 real estate people in Whangarei City. Having an individual brand is going to be a lot stronger than just the corporate brand itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we said, that the overall corporate brand is important and an essential part of it, but within that, as you say, a lot of agents or companies will have 20, 30 agents, so you want to stand out from the others, obviously, and be as well known as you can, so you're more likely to get the business. So
if you took the analogy that the best product on the market is not necessarily going to be have the market share because it's not marketed the best. Would that be where branding comes into play?
100%. So I guess the product that has the greater brand strength or the greater market share off the back of that has done an excellent job in their branding campaign, and it's then up to them to then come forward with their product and service and make sure that they're delivering at the best of their ability. If someone who has a better product isn't perceived as having a better product, then they're going to be missing market share left, right and centre.
Yeah.
So it's on them to turn around and say, we are better, or we are unique, or we are different, and you need to try us because of X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got something that stands out, it's a point of difference. If you're not telling people about that, why not? I mean, that's what can turn people to your product, because they didn't know that specific piece of information which you do that no one else does, which is that golden nugget, if you like, that you should be telling people about.
And that would be the case again, going back to real estate. If you may be a really top class real estate person, but if nobody knows who you are, you're not going to actually get a fair market share, are you?
Absolutely.
So branding is important. Individual branding is important in that respect.
Yeah, and you could do great business with return and repeat business. In real estate, you could build your career on lots of repeat business, which is great, which is a part of it. But at some point, that repeat business is going to drop off. So what have you done to actually market yourself or brand yourself to bring in those new customers and grow your client list? If you haven't done anything, then essentially your path is going to track downwards at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Tomo, you've been in the media industry now for 25 years or so.
Almost.
So now you're a brand within the brand. How does repeat business work with you? I mean, do people keep coming back to you?
They do if I do a good job, which is obviously what I'm trying to do. But I guess if you go to my brand, a lot of it stemmed from, I was fortunate to have 18 years where on a Saturday morning for 2 hours I could spout off about sport with my little mate Sebi, and so people knew me through that. So that was quite cool. I found when I went to see new prospects who they'd say, oh yeah, I know you do the Saturday morning, and I say, oh yeah, but I've never perhaps even met them, but because they'd heard me talking on the radio, they sort of felt that they knew me already, even though we maybe had never met. And it was quite cool because I noticed with those people that you would develop a relationship more quickly, and that trust would come in a lot quicker than with someone that didn't know you from a bar of soap.
Right.
Yeah. Which was a really cool thing. Yeah.
And so that repeat business now is from your commitment to staying in touch with people?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole thing that you do. You need to make sure everyone's, happy with what you're doing for them, and keep in touch. And obviously with radio, there's all sorts of things like the creative and how the commercials are placed. So you just work through that at times as to where people are sitting, and if they're tracking in the right direction. And their plan's working, they've got an increase in business coming through, or more people coming through the door, more hits on the website, or whatever it is we're trying to do for them. So yeah, it is a constant cycle, if you like, of just getting things in place so that it's working as best as it possibly can for people.
Cool, rightio. Anything else you want to finish with? Any real hot nuggets of advice for someone listening thinking, I need to get a brand out there?
I think probably what you need to keep in mind with your marketing is that you need a really good cross-section of both branding and call to action advertising, and they both work really well together, more so than working in isolation, and then be really clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve and what your measures of success off the back of that are. Branding is going to do amazing things for a business, but it's a long-term strategy, and it's around building brand strength, which is really hard to measure. Call to action stuff is great for immediate action, moving product, getting direct results, but you need to understand what you're trying to achieve with both before you come into planning your marketing strategy for the year.
Cool. If anyone's interested in having a chat to you about radio marketing, best phone number to get hold of you guys on?
09986 990.
Say that again.
09986 990.
Cool. Erin and Tomo, thanks for your time.